I guess by the thumbnail title, you can tell that today we are going to talk about title fraud. And the reason I wanted to bring this up is because it recently happened to one of my clients. And today I'm going to tell you about the deal, the story, and what a roller coaster ride it was. So stick around. It may be a little bit long, but hopefully by the end of it, we can all learn something about it. Hi, I'm Steven Sun, Homes by Sun with Remax, and welcome back. So the deal happened very recently, about a week ago. It closed. So I want to give you the ending. Everything was okay in the end. The deal did close on time. Now let me backtrack a little bit, give you some background. So this seller contacted me about 2 months ago, beginning of August, and asked me if I can help him sell his condo. Now this condo he only purchased about a year ago. So he's moving away out of the country and he wants to sell the condo. No problem, right? They got my name off the sign and I went to see the seller. They didn't have much in the unit, very minimal furnitures. In any case, I went through the usual procedures of verifying IDs, making sure that he is the actual owner. So we got the listing prepared, we staged the unit, we market the hell out of it. Within that area, at that time, there were about 7 to 8 units for sale, all around the same price point. All were 1+1 or 1-bedroom units. None were as nicely packaged as ours. And so even though those listings have been on the market for much longer, 2-3 weeks, we were able to sell that unit within a week. Now this unit, the subject unit, was previously listed on the market for sale back in March, but it didn't sell. And that was with a different brokerage, not ours. I didn't work on that. So this time around, I got involved. We got it done within a week. So everyone was happy. Now, when the deal was accepted, it was around the end of August. About 10 days later, both sides agreed that we will change the closing date to end of September instead. And my client, the seller, was also happy because he was already moved out of the unit. He moved out of the unit so that we can sell it. So he didn't live there. And a quicker closing would mean that he would save on condo fee or other costs of carrying it for an extra month. So at this point, we set the new closing date for September 29th, which is a Thursday. The Friday before the closing date, my client, the seller, got a call from his lawyer saying, hey, we actually never heard from the buyer's lawyer. We don't know what's going on. We're supposed to be receiving documents so that we can start the closing. Now, at this point, we were less than 1 week away from closing date. So on a Friday, we got a call from the seller's lawyer. And the seller called me, my client called me. And so I tried to contact the buyer's agent, but he didn't pick up. No problem. I know who they were using, which lawyer they were using. So I called the buyer's lawyer directly and say, hey, by the way, there is a deal closing the week after. You guys missed the requisition date, which is a day that the buy side is supposed to send the sell side information about what they discover regarding the title, so that if there's any issues, the seller can deal with it. And so when I called the buyer's lawyer, they seemed a little bit surprised that I would call, and they kind of didn't know which deal I was referring to. And so I gave them the information, the address, the closing date, and then they said, oh yes, we got it here. And we are going to reach out to the seller's lawyer as soon as possible. So we thought, okay, everything is fine. Now that I have alerted them to this deal, that they're going to send the documents to us and closing should be fine. A few hours later, this is about the Friday late afternoon. We got a letter from the buyer's lawyer. They had checked the title and they found that there was a private mortgage and it was a number company. So we know it's a private loan. It wasn't a bank, it was a private loan. And the private mortgage was registered on title the same day we received the offer for this unit. I asked my client, of course, he said no, there's no way that he would go and take out a loan knowing that the unit is sold. So we knew at that point there was something going on and it's probably likely fraud. Being a Friday late afternoon, there wasn't much we could do. We did find out who the law firm was that did the registration for the lender. But beyond that, we didn't have much information because we first have to reach out to that law firm to figure out, okay, so who authorized the loan, who asked for it, who applied for it, and all that. So throughout the weekend, my client was very upset and, we actually contacted the police. We also contacted title insurance. Basically, we had to notify them that there's an issue on title, which is why title insurance will take care of it. And also, my client spoke to other litigation lawyer because at this point we were thinking, if we cannot get that discharge by the closing day, which is 4 business days away, and there's a possibility that they may want to walk away from the deal. Now, everyone knows what the market is right now, and for us to go back onto the market, we may not even get the price that we wanted. All right, so long story short, Monday rolls around. So we could only rely on the seller's lawyer to sort this out. The seller's lawyer reached out to this law firm that dealt with the loan and found out a couple of things. First of all, we found out who the mortgage broker is that brokered this deal. We also found out the fraudster, which law firm they use to do the registration. And this was already Monday afternoon that we found all this out. And so my client was still not sure what is going to happen. And we also found out the size of the mortgage was just over $200,000. Monday afternoon, my client was still very upset. From what I learned, I know that the lawyers who did the deal together, it's not somebody that they would talk to me. However, the mortgage broker may be a way for me to get more information so that I can try to help my client. So this is what I did. Now, I found multiple mortgage broker with the exact same name working for different firms. I called each one of them. First couple of ones I called, they had no clue what I was talking about. I couldn't reach the other one. But the last one that I got a hold of, the mortgage broker who did this fraudulent loan. All right, so I called this mortgage broker up and I explained who I was. And I said to him, do you recall doing a private loan at the end of August? And it was about $200,000. And he said, yes, he does remember. And as a matter of fact, he got an email from the private lender's lawyer regarding this. And he was about to do his own investigation as to what happened. So basically, my client is of Asian nationality, but he's a Canadian. The fraudster is also an Asian. When this mortgage broker got connected with fraudster, it was because of his online advertising. So he never met this guy. He does advertise online, and this person reached out to him and said he needed a private loan. No problem. The mortgage broker asked for 2 pieces of ID, sent him the application, and also asked for the property tax. All very standard procedures. And so he received 2 IDs. The first ID is a driver license, which my client's actual driver's license has an off-site address. So it's not the property that we're selling. It's another address. And this ID actually has that address. So it leads us to believe that someone got a hold of a copy of my client's driver license and changed the photo. So the photo was not my client, it was this person. And they also presented a photo permanent resident card. Now, remember I said my client's a Canadian, so he doesn't have the permanent resident card. So obviously this permanent resident card is fake. He wasn't able to produce the property tax bill, the actual bill, but what he did was, because City of Toronto has an online property tax lookup, he was able to go in with the roll number, which is the long, I think it's like 14 or 15 digit number, starts with 19, the long number, my client's name, address obviously, he knows, and also the customer number. Now, I don't know how he knows about the customer number because it's only printed on the bill. If you live in Toronto and you look at your property tax bill, there is a customer number. It's like 7 digit or something. And without that, you can't get into looking at property tax bill. And he printed off a screenshot of the property tax showing that, there's no outstanding property tax. So the mortgage broker got all this information, told him to sign, fill out the application form. It was filled out. It actually, he knew a lot about my client. His profession, he knew about that. Parents, he knew about other information, which I think he got from my client's credit report. At this point, the mortgage broker didn't really have any concern because everything was provided to him. Mortgage broker even obtained a status certificate showing who the actual owner is and if there's any condo fee outstanding. Got everything, went to his private lender, it got approved. The reason it got approved so quickly was because the loan amount, $200K, was only 1/3 of the value of the condo. And my client actually did not have any mortgage on title. So it was a free and clear title. They went through to their lawyer. The lawyer didn't really see any cause for concern. And also the fraudster hired his own lawyer, and she didn't find any cause of concern. Now, I did raise a question to the mortgage broker at this point when he was telling me the story, is that who actually met with this guy and checked the ID? And turns out that no one actually met with him. They did everything online. All the documents were signed electronically. The IDs were checked via video, right? So I said, if you don't know what the actual person, actual seller, you don't know what he actually looks like, how are you going to know that this person, it could be anybody, holding up a piece of ID with the same photo, right? Of course it's gonna match. Even the fraudster's lawyer did not take that extra step to verify identity. Fortunately, the reason that this whole ordeal ended with a somewhat of a happier ending is because when they registered the loan, they had to notify my client's title insurance. And because my client bought title insurance, when they bought the unit, they have to alert the title insurance. And title insurance kind of looked at this whole thing and found it a little bit odd. We don't know what they were suspicious about, but it was good that they were suspicious and they alerted the lawyers, who then did not disperse the funds. So the $200K that was borrowed sat in the fraudster's lawyer's trust account. So once we found out that the money is actually not lost, the guy did not get away with the money, we knew that it was just a matter of paperwork to get the loan off the title so we could close. And that's exactly what happened. So the next day, the private lender was alerted. All the lawyers involved were alerted. They all knew that this was a fraudulent loan. The money was not lost. The only thing lost was probably the opportunity cost and maybe some interest, some registration fee and all that, which the title insurance is going to take care of. They are going to pay for any extra cost that my client had to incur. And we were able to get this all done before the actual closing date. And so we were able to close. The reason I want to share this with everyone here is that if you have already paid off your mortgage on your house, or if you bought a property with cash, no loan, nothing, and you have a clear title, you are very susceptible to this kind of title fraud. It is so easy for someone to find out that you have a clear title and to get a hold of a couple of your IDs. They could go apply for a loan, they could go apply for a credit card, they could go do a multiple number of things. They could even get a line of credit. So it is very important for any homeowners to protect themselves by having a line of credit, having something registered on title. You see, because my client's title was clear, the private loan was very easily approved because they were number one. Had they have a line of credit or a small mortgage, something registered on title, like the line, you don't have to use it, then the bank becomes number one, right? And the private loan would become number two. And so most lenders are going to be a little bit more cautious. They also will have to write a letter to the bank alerting them. So there are a lot more steps involved, and it is much harder for anyone to try to steal your title. And the other thing is really safeguard your IDs. During a real estate transaction, you may be asked to send your ID to your real estate agent. What you should actually do is have a video chat with him. If you're not meeting in person, best thing is, of course, meet in person, show the ID, have him copy down the information. That's it. Don't take a picture and all that. But if meeting face-to-face is not possible, you can also do a video call and just hold up your ID, let him copy down the information. That way he can verify that you look like the person in the picture, and done. Everything was sorted out, we closed, but I just wanted to bring that to your attention. And always, always, when you buy a property, have title insurance. It's one of the best investment you can make because it's a one-time deal. You buy it once and it covers you for the rest of your ownership of the house. So always have title insurance. Don't leave your title empty. Always have something registered and safeguard your ID, and you should be okay. If this happens to you, remember, you need to work with your lawyer, and you may also need to have a litigation lawyer on speed dial so that if it does become a litigation matter, you do have somebody. Now, I have a big connection of litigation lawyers, so that's why I was able to put my client in touch with a couple of them so he could speak to them and ease his mind. At the end of the day, you also need to protect yourself and hire someone that knows what they're doing, who can really help you make the real estate transaction more smooth. Thanks again for watching. I hope this was useful for you. My name is Steven Sun with RE/MAX. If you have any questions, or drop me an email if you were a victim of title fraud, you can leave a comment below, or wherever you're watching this, send me an email, homes@stevensun.ca, and I'll be more than happy to hear your story, and let's see if we can both learn something else from it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.